think of Man City and you think, oh, a top quality Premier League team, but that just wasn't a top quality Premier League team. Maybe the attacking side, but defending side just wasn't on it. What's up, guys? Back with another video, and today we've got Match of the Day 8 coming up with a lot of news for you on the games that have gone past on Match Day 8. So let's get into it. But if you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to my channel, click that like button, click that notification bell so you don't miss any new videos that I post on this channel. So you have all the fun, entertainment, and, you know, your weekend specials of Match Days. Please show the support and the love to this channel. I really need it. And yeah, let's get into the video. So we're going to start off with Leicester, who played Liverpool, and this ended at 2-1 victory to Liverpool with a very unexpected win for Liverpool. Because it goes 1-0 up to Liverpool, then a 1-1 draw by Mr. Maddison, again scoring, you know, with you know, he's a really good player, you know, scored previously to win the game for Leicester, and now he scored again. But then in the very final moments of the game, Brighton for Leicester gives away a penalty by committing a foul on Mane, and James Milner, cool as a cucumber, just slots it into the corner, and, you know, they take all 3 points away. I think they did deserve it overall. They did have quite a few number of chances through the game. Leicester not as much, but they did test Adrian quite a lot. I don't know why I'm thinking about ALISSON. I don't know, he's been gone for ages, but Adrian had a couple of saves to make. Maybe should have stopped, you know, the goal, but because it's just gone under him, and maybe should have positioned himself different. You don't know, but yeah, 2-1 victory to Liverpool, and they're gonna hopefully go on to get a lot more points to, you know, secure the title of the Premier League. You know, that's a big achievement. Moving on. Now, guys, this game puts a smile on everyone's faces. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, and who cares about you. But Villa won 5-1 to Norwich City, and Norwich City beat Man City. Like, it's just amazing, and it was away from home. I mean, you got everybody saying, oh, I don't really feel it today. I'm not thinking that we're going to come out with a win and all that. But then what happens? We go and win 5-0. And also, McGovern made his debut for Norwich and also saved a penalty from Wesley, and with a follow-up, and you should see it in the replay in slow motion. It's kind of funny because he makes the save and he has to spin all the way around, and instead of trying to, like, get his feet in the way, you should just see he just goes in front of the ball like that and just puts his entire head first, and he's very brave, and Wesley puts it over the bar. Maybe should have got a hat-trick, but Wesley scored twice, Grealish scored, Hurahan scored, and Douglas Luiz with another absolute beauty, like just the same way that he did against Bournemouth, I think. And it was just, I don't know, McGovern wasn't making it, but then for us to concede in the last couple minutes with a back pass, and then Mings has just lifted it once again, because McGinn's played it back, and then Mings has just kicked it right up in the air and expected Tom Heater just to come out and deal with it, and Dermot is onto it, and Heater misses the ball, and then he just slots it away. But the funny thing is, he went to run for the ball, you know, like what you do when it's a 2-1 and the comeback is on. You're losing 5-1 and you go and run for the ball. There's like 5 minutes left of the game. Like, what's the point? What's the point? You're not going to get 5 goals in the next 5 minutes, are you? No, that's not going to happen, is it? But yes, guys, 5-1 to Villa, and I mean, I hope we can keep this going, because I'd hate to see, you know, I'm not going to jinx anything. Let's just see it in the future. Now, guys, we're going to move on to Tottenham, who played Brighton. And with Brighton losing last week, they were very, not overly confident, but kind of confident about the game, because it was at home and Tottenham came to visit. But this game just went from bad to worse. I mean, 3 minutes in, and the ball's lifted in for a cross, and I don't even know if it was a cross or a shot, but either way, it's coming in. LLORIS has, like, caught it, but it's on his way back. He's dropped the ball, and he's landed, and just his arm's just gone, done something terrible. His arm's just gone, like, I don't know what his arm has done. His arm's just gone from here to there. His arm's just died. It just landed and just went like, oh. But he got taken off by stretcher, and he seemed to be out for around 2 months, which doesn't help. I mean, Gazzaniga, he's not a bad goalkeeper. He's actually done really well for filling in for LLORIS in the past, but he made a really good save to deny Connolly the first time, but the follow-up was actually a deflection pass, because the follow-up, Vertonghen kind of like got his foot in the way and took it away from Gazzaniga's hand, because you never know, he might have saved it, but, you know, his defender did his best, but unlucky it went in it. And Connolly actually scored twice. I mean, that's really good for him, but not good for Tottenham. I mean, their weeks so far have not been great. I mean, the start of the season was okay, and these 2 weeks have not been great, and it looks like it's going from bad to worse. And I don't know what was happening. You could just see Kane wasn't on it, and neither. I think the only person who really was on it was Son, and he's usually always on it, but Kane just, I don't know what he was doing in that game. He just wasn't himself, and we'll just hope that they don't repeat this in the future. So next up, we got West Ham, who played Crystal Palace, and this game ended at a 2-1 victory to Crystal Palace after going down 1-0, because they basically 2 close range saves from Guaita, but it wasn't really like for him to make a really close reaction. It was straight at him, but he was there, and but then it was really unlucky. Really good play from West Ham, by the way, and then Aller slots it and it goes through Guaita's legs just too quick and too close to kind of react, which is kind of unlucky. And then for them to pull one back with Van Aanholt scoring a penalty, and then Jordan Ayew scores another one, but at the time was disallowed because he was offside. But then VAR make the check, referee, VAR, and the goal is given, and Crystal Palace completely just steal the 3 points in the final moments of the game, which is very unlucky. And good for them, not good for West Ham, but good for Crystal Palace, and they are looking very strong at the moment and should be going on to get a few more wins and a few more points on the table. Good luck. Now next up, we've got Everton, who played Burnley, and as Burnley drew against Villa last week, they were very confident going against Everton, and they did bring 3 points from the game, and Coleman did get a red card after 2 yellows, 2 fouls, and he just was late on both of them, and was kind of like, he was just sent off, and it was the right decision, and there was no really like VAR interplay. It was quite obvious, and yeah, he got sent off, and then Hendrick scored from a close range volley coming as a cross. But there's a big debate on if Pickford should have actually saved it, because it's near post, and everybody says, oh, it's a near post, you have to be saving that, and it did come very fast at him, so maybe that's his excuse, but at the same time he should be saving it in the middle of his 2 defenders, so it might have been a little bit harder. But yeah, 3 points on the score for Burnley, but not as good for Everton, and they're not looking too strong now because of the way their season has gone so far. But we'll hope that they can get back into the rhythm of the Premier League and get some more points on the table. Now moving on, we've got Sheffield United, who played Watford. Now this game ended at a 0-0, but was quite surprising due to how well Sheffield actually dominated the game last game against Liverpool, and we were expecting Watford, not the best starts to the season, well, the worst start to the season because they're at the bottom of the table, but like, you're thinking Sheffield are going to take maybe even 3 points away from the game, but they actually didn't. They only took 1, which is kind of unlucky. But yeah, overall, even match with both keepers getting tested by each team, but just couldn't find a way to score, which is kind of unlucky for both, and especially Sheffield, which they really should have brought some points from the game, and I think they're kind of like a little bit disappointed about that. But they are going to go on and do really well in the Premier League. You can see it from the team. They've just come into the Premier League, but they're doing really well so far. And, you're going to expect them to get some more points. Now, we're going to move on to Manchester City, who played Wolves. And this game just didn't go well for Man City at all. They were without De Bruyne now, but that isn't really an excuse, because one man doesn't complete a team, and they should be still scoring due to their team and their standards, their quality, and all the players that they have. But it was actually a win for Wolves with a 2-0 victory, and Adama Traore scoring twice. But it wasn't just him. He was also helped by Jimenez for the first goal with a great piece of skill. But all game, Manchester City were just sloppy at the back. They were passing the ball across the pitch, and they had so many scares. Ederson was having to make quite a few saves just to secure it. But it was nothing like what Manchester City have seen to be. Because you think of Man City and you think, oh, a top quality Premier League team, but that just wasn't a top quality Premier League team. Maybe the attacking side, but defending side just wasn't on it. Otamendi didn't really have a good game. Fernandinho is having a really tough time due to the fact that Laporte is injured and is Stones, so there's no real backup, and he's a CDM, so he's a defensive midfielder, but that's not his really position, and he's just being forced to play centre back, which is very hard for him. And he did put in 2 really good blocks from the same man, and just coming to the rescue. But that just wasn't Man City. That was not Man City at all. They didn't play the way that Man City play, so kind of disappointing. But we'll hope that they're gonna get some more points and not play like this again. Now we're gonna move on to Manchester United, who played Newcastle, and I don't know what to say, but Man United's unfortunate chain of results just keeps on carrying on. I mean, another loss to another team that they just should have brought the point home, with Longstaff scoring a really good goal, actually pulled back from really good play from Newcastle, and he just slotted it past De Gea. I mean, De Gea did have a decent game, it wasn't really his fault, and I think that Maguire should have scored definitely, and a couple of other chances should have been put in the back of the net, but they were just not crucial in front of goal, and that's what cost them the game. But they're not on top of the game. Their team isn't doing as well as people were thinking, because when you think of Man U, you think of a really good team, but at this rate they're not. So obviously you gotta feel for them, but you also gotta, you know, think, oh, how are they gonna change it and what they're gonna do, what's the positions, what's the players, is there gonna be changes to the formation? You don't know, but hopefully they will bring more next game, and you know, hopefully they get more points on the table. Now we're on our second to last game with Chelsea, who played Southampton, and this game ended at 4-1 victory to Chelsea, with Mr. Abraham scoring again. I mean, Abraham scoring, Mount scoring, Kante scoring again. I mean, N'Golo Kante scoring again. His goal against Liverpool was top class, and this goal as well was really good too. And also, Batshuayi scoring as a substitute. But I think overall, Southampton just couldn't deal with what Chelsea had to throw at them, and you know, had great difficulty, you know, trying to get to grips with the game. And Chelsea were just dominating through the whole game. Ings did score, but that didn't really change the game too much, because they thought the comeback was on, but then they just got more goals, and there was no point anymore. And Chelsea are doing really well at the moment, and they look to get more points. Southampton, you don't know, so it's a mystery. Now, guys, we're on to our final match, which was Arsenal, who played Bournemouth. And this game ended at a 1-0 victory to Arsenal, with David Luiz scoring. I mean, he did score a header, but also he hasn't had the best season, with Arsenal losing quite a few of their games, but also getting points on the score with Aubameyang scoring. But you would expect Aubameyang to score, but he actually didn't. Pepe got very close, but Luiz scores, and that through the whole game it was kind of on edge, because you expect them to get another goal to kind of like seal it, but they didn't, and it ended at a 1-0 victory. Good for David Luiz, and we hope that he does get more points. And RAMSDALE, he didn't have a lot to do except for the goal that they scored, but you know, he just tried his best, didn't make the save, but unlucky. And you know, he's a decent goalkeeper, and he will make saves. He will be the hero one day. And you know, we just hope that Bournemouth, because they have been doing well as well, and Bournemouth will move up the table as the season progresses. And yeah, we just hope good luck for all teams in the Premier League to get better. Now, before we end this video, my goalkeeper of the week choice is Mr. Henderson. Give him a round of applause, please. You know, I'll do it. Well played, Henderson. You know, he had a good week last. I think all of his season's been good so far, except for the mistake. But all season he's been on top of the game. He's been good quality, aware in every game, and I think he deserves it. So, you know, gotta give it to him. And guys, that is the end of the video, and if you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe down below, and click that notification bell so that you don't miss any new videos that I post on my channel, and I'll see you next time.